a pulled row in Berber. This is probably the #1 cause of damage in Berber carpet. Look at this, and once it happens, what happens? It just keeps going and going. There's no fixing, it is there. Again, somebody's high heel could get caught in that, a really bad tripping hazard.
Now what I'd like to show you is a couple of different repairs dealing with pulled rows in Berber. The first one is going to be a fairly simple one, and this is certainly something we see on a regular basis. I'm going to try and make sure we take our time as we go through here, so that if you want to be able to follow along, you can do that. Now if you look very closely with it here, you'll see a couple of different places where this is just so common. It can be just a random pull, it can be something from the heel of a shoe catch it, the bottom of a chair that's got a nail hanging out. There's so many things that can cause this. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with the whole carpet. It just means we've got something, a localized area of trauma that's caused that damage and pulled the row out. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that and make sure everything's in reasonably sound condition. The tools that we'll need would be a pick, you need a flat blade screwdriver, a small one like this, and you'll see why. You need a roller. You can have a flat roller or a star roller, it doesn't really matter. You need a weight, and you also need a glue gun. So let's get started. It's always a good idea to just check and see if we can lay it over and how it's going to look if we push it back in. Okay, that's going to be fine. Alright, so I'm going to take my flat blade screwdriver, again, just a flat blade screwdriver, a fairly small one. I'm going to put it right next to where I'm going to work at, and I'll put it in there, and I'm going to pop it a good one. That way it allows me to get through the backing. I want to go through the primary and secondary backing, and we're going to have a hole in it. Now I'm going to lift this up so you can see what I'm talking about. This is what we want to have happen. There should be a hole there, and you can see the screwdriver right there. Alright, that's what I want to have accomplished. Now you won't be able to lift that up when you're working on one when it's in a floor, but that's what you want to do. Now to get it where I can work this, I'm going to take my long tip, barrel tip on my glue gun. I'm going to move this back. You don't want to get glue on anything. I'm going to push this through until I get through the backing. Now I'm not going to pull that. You're going to see this is what I want to have happen. Right here is what I want to have happen. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on here through the back to catch the back of it. I'll put just a little bit of glue there. And then I'm going to take my pick. I'm going to push this back down into there. Sometimes you have a bundle wrap that you can push down in there. And you're going to work that down into the bed of adhesive. And pull that edge around. Now it's real important to hold that. You can see there's a little tiny bit of glue there. If you push it down and you don't hold it, now show them to I'm pushing it down in the glue. I'm going to put my finger there and I'm going to pull this out so I don't pull the tuft back out. And now you can see right here that tuft is right back down in there, and give that about 5 minutes. You can roll it with either roller. You just want to be sure it's got it nice and pressed down in that adhesive. I will now take my weight and put on there, and I'll allow that to sit for about 5 minutes or so. And then when I lift it up, I'll view it, and it should be just fine. So what had looked like this now looks just like the rest of them, and that's not going to come up because we've applied the adhesive through the back and then made a little well in it. It provides an anchor beneath the bottom there where it doesn't allow it to pull back through. Now let's take and watch this again. We've got this loop. I want to determine where I'm going to put it at. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to take my flatbed screwdriver. I'm going to pop it a good one to get it through the back. I'm going to take my long tip of my glue gun. I've gone through the backing, and I'm going to put some adhesive there. And I can see the adhesive, just a little pool of it. I'm going to take and fold this back over. Press it down into my glue. Hold my finger on there, and I'm going to twist this out. I don't want to lose that. Now that's down in the glue. I'm going to roll it, put a weight on it, let it set for several minutes, possibly 4 or 5 minutes. When I take it off, now you can see where the two tufts were pulled at. They're both secured in adhesive, and if you give it enough time to work, they will not come back out. That's a very simple way if you have just 1 or 2 pulled tufts. Don't try and do that with a long row. It's just too much effort and you'll have a mess. Alright, that's going to be the end of that first repair.